Today we're going to be talking about the best weapons you can start with here in Albion Online, and let me explain what that means. So when you start here in Albion Online, as a new player, your main focus is going to be building your personal economy. And what that means is building up your silver, building up your items, building up different types of assets that you can use later in the game to make your life easier, so that every time you die, if you do go to like a full loot zone or any type of activities, and if you do lose your stuff, you're not stuck at square one trying to build from the ground up. Our goal is to build our personal economy, have a good amount of silver so that we can rebuy gear, so that we can get out there and play the game and do what we actually enjoy. The point of these weapons is, when I started on East server during the beta and the regular start, I tried different weapons out, and there were a certain handful of weapons that me and other players that I talked with had a better time using when it came to fame farming up your character, making silver, clearing solo dungeons, clearing different types of PvE content in the roads. These weapons just outshine compared to other ones. Now, for example, if you jump into the game and you say you want to play battle bracers and you go out there using battle bracers, which is a war glove, you might have a hard time clearing a lot of mobs because battle bracers is not that strong in PvE until it is spec'd up. There are a lot of other weapons that starting out are very strong even at low levels, and those are the weapons we're going to be talking about in this video, and I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible so you guys can get in, get out, and get back to the game whether you are starting on East or West server. So in my inventory here, I have some weapons and I have some armor pieces too to talk about some different little things, but for the most part, it's just the focus on the weapons. The one-handed nature, or the nature staff in general, just sticks out like a sore thumb. The thorn growth and the bramble seed, as well as the heal that it has, you can also switch to revitalize to even get more heals, because the thorns do damage. They then put thorn stacks on the mob, and then when you do a primary attack, your primary attack will hit, as well as it will proc one of the thorn charges, doing an additional 79 magical damage. You can clump mobs together and just keep placing these thorns over and over again, almost just completely non-stop, and primary attacking, and it will shred through mobs very easily. Even at tier 3, when the beta was coming out, I saw lots of streamers and different players using tier 3 nature staffs to do all different types of content. So nature staffs in general are just perfect for starting out here in Albion Online to get your PvE and to start building up your economy. Another one's going to be battle axe. A battle axe is another good one, as it does have the bleed, so it could chip down all the mobs. It has good damage, as well as the E does provide some really good sustain, so it could help you stay in the fight longer and nuke down some of the mobs that you put together. We have one-handed curse. Curse is strong in PvE in general, as it does have a pierce. Pierce meaning it reduces damage resistance, which means whatever you hit with this armor piercer will take more damage. You could use grudge as well, which will, over time, it'll make your primary attack, like your normal attack, do more damage every 2 seconds. So you just have to wait for the tick to get to the 2-second mark, then you do 305 damage every single hit, and that'll stay on you for 10 seconds, or you can put it on an ally as well. We have sickle, or you could use Q, depending if it's single target or multiple targets, so you could put multiple of the vile curse charges. Again, these are a lot of dot weapons, meaning damage over time weapons, like the battle axe and the curse staff. All of these dots applied to the mobs will kill them faster, making the PvE clear easier. We have the light crossbow, which all of its abilities are AoE, meaning area of effect, so explosive bolt will hit all the mobs that are in the circle where you cast it. We have caltrops that will hit all the mobs that are on it when you cast this, as well as when you do exploding shot, it'll do damage to all the mobs that are clumped together. And then well prepared, every 4 spellcasts you can reset your Q, so you can keep chaining explosive bolts. This weapon is one of the best PvE clearing weapons, if not the best PvE clearing weapon in the game. It's used for hardcore expeditions, which are some of the highest level PvE content in the game, as when you do cycle this weapon correctly, it outputs the most damage in PvE. There are some weapons that are right next to it, but for the most part, light crossbow is trusted as one of the strongest PvE weapons in this game right now. We do have one-handed spear, which would be lunging strike. We have the forest of spears that you can combine with a mercenary jacket, which would be a chest piece, and then you have life leech for more sustain. The Q can hit multiple targets, the forest of spear can hit multiple targets, and the reckless charge can hit multiple targets. So all 5 of these are very decent weapons for starting out here in Albion Online. And again, the point of these is to fast track your progress, whether you're killing mobs, you're making silver, whether you're going out there doing solo dungeons, whether you're doing roads. The PvE is a core aspect of Albion that you have to do starting out to build up your account. Once you build up your account, you have a lot of silver and you spec'd up, you could start switching to other weapons, and you can freely, with your funds, start leveling up weapons that aren't as good at PvE and can make your life a hell of a lot easier starting out here in Albion. And then I have like Mage Cow, which has the fire breath, which does a cone. This can damage all of the mobs that you clump up. Stalker Jacket has electric field, which again is another AoE chest piece that you can use to help clears go faster. We have Soldier Boots, which has rejuvenating sprint that can give you heals and more defense. And then the last thing I have here is a little bit of a solo dungeon trick that some people use when they have a weapon that's really bad for clearing solo dungeons, and that is the Spectre Jacket Cabbage Soup combo. So what this will do is it'll ignite yourself, dealing 2% true damage to players, but it does 96 magical damage versus mobs every 0.5 seconds up to 5 enemies within 6-meter radius of you. You do take 2% of your max health every 0.5 seconds as true damage, and it does decrease your healing received. This can be activated and it can be deactivated, and the point of it is to kill mobs as fast as possible in the solo dungeons, and then as you're running to the next mobs, you would use the cabbage soup. You have the cabbage soup activated on you, and this will actually heal faster than the Hellion Jacket's damage, so you could try to run to the next mobs while this is activated. And a lot of people will pair Spectre Hood with this, so they try to get as max cooldown as possible, so they'll do all their cooldown passives. They'll do Spectre Hood, which Spectre Hood, what it does is when you activate it, it resets your chest piece to be able to be used again. And a lot of people will use Spectre Jacket to clear solo dungeons, so this is a trick that you can try out. You just have to be very careful with it because it will lower your health. So if the solo dungeon is a little bit more difficult, you are going to be killing the mobs as well as you're hurting yourself. So if the mobs are hitting hard enough, this actually won't work for you. So Stalker Jacket is a nice, it's a one that I like to use because it doesn't do damage to yourself. It just outputs a lot more damage. But again, these weapons are some of the best ones that you can start with here in Albion for your PvE activities, building your personal economy, and just getting a good start on East or West as a new player starting out here. And again, in the future, you can switch to other weapons. I used, in the beginning, I personally used Nature Staff to clear a lot of my solo dungeons when I was doing a lot of my solo dungeon testing and building up my personal economy. Good solo dungeon clears. I could do 4.1 Nature Staffs. I could clear tier 8 dungeons just easily with it, so it was amazing. But that's going to be it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you got some ideas of some weapons to start out with to kind of jumpstart your progress here in Albion Online. If you do have any weapons that you like using yourself, make sure to drop them in the comments, and I would like to hear about them. We can get the discussion going. Obviously, none of this is finalized, and I'm just expressing your opinion and some of the stuff that I asked the chat to kind of just give everyone an idea of how they can progress further. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see all of you in the next video, and I'll see all of you in Albion Online.